Hi, everyone. Welcome to functional training today. We're going to start by doing a little bit of a warm-up with multi-directional movements, and make sure you have space around you, and we're going to need some hand weights as well today. So thanks for joining. Here we go. Let's get warmed up, starting in an extra wide lunge position. So exaggerate that lunge, feet really far apart, just to open up the hip flexors here. On the way down into the lunge, what you're going to do, if your right knee is in front, you're going to take your left arm and you're going to rotate slightly and reach your hand across the body, pivoting the feet to turn the other way. And then you're going to rotate and reach your hand across the body. You'll get an extra stretch in the hip flexor there, and it will set you off balance. So it'll really warm up those movement patterns for our balance coming into play after. Okay, so continue that movement pattern with a full pivot, 180 degrees, half lunge down and reach. And again, keep this movement pattern going, nice and slow. Pivot those feet. It's a little harder if you're on carpet like I am. If you're on the floor, the feet will obviously pivot a little bit more smooth, but nonetheless, it's the same pattern, just as effective. We'll go two more. Okay, dropping down into our thoracic rotation. So now you're going to take your left hand, placing it down on the floor right beside your foot. And you're going to take your other hand, reach to the ceiling as you rotate. So fully turn, reach that hand straight up to the ceiling, keeping your feet planted, your hand planted beside the foot. Now bring that other hand down beside the foot, plant it down and turn the other way, reaching straight up to the ceiling and then leaning back up to our lunge position and then continue. So we'll continue this movement pattern for a few more repetitions, and then we'll finish on the other side doing the thoracic stretch. So you'll notice your legs will start to burn a bit because you're constantly in that low athletic stance. Very rarely are you fully extending and standing up straight. So your quads will definitely be warming up here. You'll feel that, that burn. We'll go one more. On this side, drop to the floor. Take that right hand, set it down on the floor beside that foot. Rotate to the left and reach to the ceiling. And switch hands, same position, just a different hand. Rotating the other way, reaching to the ceiling. And bringing it down and relax. Okay, great. Now we're going to hit the floor here. So we're going to do some glute bridge variations to warm up the glutes some more. Just going to adjust the camera. Okay, so get comfortable. You're going to lie down on your back. And we're going to do some glute bridge variations. So starting in a traditional bridge, feet planted on the floor, dig your heels in, engage the glutes. So get ready to focus on squeezing the glute muscles. Keep your elbows on the floor or your hands on the floor. Thrust the hips up, lifting the glutes off the ground. Not too high, so don't exaggerate. Just a little bit off the ground, maybe a fist underneath should fit, maybe a bit more, that's fine. Now just keep holding this. We always do at least 15-second hold before we increase any movements. So before we get any mobilization here, you want to stabilize and engage them so that you're not just going through the motions. Okay, so now we're going to do single-legged variations. So you're going to lift your left foot off the ground, keeping the knee in a bent position. And I really want you to focus on that right side, that glute, and try to keep the hips level so that you're not tipping to one side. And I want you to try to lift that other leg up even higher, pointing that toe to the ceiling. And you're going to still start to feel the glutes burning a bit more. And now I want you to set that left foot down without dropping your body to the floor and switch. So now it's the right knee lifted and your left glute is doing the work here to hold up the hips. Really focus on engaging, flexing, contracting that glute muscle. And now try to straighten that right leg if you can. Obviously, you need some hamstring flexibility. And we're going to switch again. So we'll do a couple more of these. Just extend straight to the ceiling. We're going to go 3, 2, 1, and switch. 3, 2, 1, and switch. One more each side. 3, 2, 1, finishing on this left side. 3, 2, and 1. Excellent. Just go ahead and grab your knees and pull them to the chest. And just kind of move a little bit left to right. Just kind of tilt, cradle side to side. Dropping your left leg down. Keep holding that knee. And foot down. Excellent. Okay, great. All right, so we're all warmed up. We've got our muscles activated. We really wanted to focus on getting that lower body tuned up so that we can handle some of these stresses that we place on it when we do functional movement patterns with balance, dynamic balance, coordination, power, things like that. Okay, so grab yourself a quick drink of water. Make sure your weights are handy nearby. And then we're going to get started with some of the bigger, more strenuous movements. Okay, and to start, we're going to start with our agility and our power endurance. So we're going to be doing our hop overs, switching it up a bit today with the order of the exercises. So you're going to place that object, so a rubber band, a belt, really any kind of straight object, hockey stick, doesn't matter, a t-shirt rolled up. You just want to have that object straight, at least a couple feet in length. Okay, and then we're going to start with our power endurance movement for our hop overs. Okay, so we're going to begin with the lateral movements. So we're going to be doing a lateral hop with both feet, and then we will change it to a single hop, a single-legged hop. Okay, now what I want to do is 2 different tempos. So when you use a faster tempo, you can actually take advantage of the momentum. So for when you land, you can spring it forward, left to right. So you can actually take advantage of that biomechanical advantage that you have there for the spring action. But when you go slow, you have to pause and you kind of lose that coil. So it goes away. So it's actually a bit more difficult when we go slower. All right, so to generate that power, you need both. So we're going to start with the quicker one. So we're going to do 5 and 5. Okay, so here we go. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now hold, and now 5 slow. 1, pause. 2, pause. 3, pause. 4, pause. 5, pause. Okay, so that's the pattern that we're going to do it in, and we're going to do the same thing with the single-legged. So here we go. Right foot. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. A little slower. 1, hold. 2, hold. 3. See how it's a lot harder? Hold. Hold. 1 more. Hold. Okay. So a lot more difficult when you go slower. Now you can see that. Other foot. Quicker. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, this will be hard. Non-dominant side, slower. Hold. 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 2 more. And done. Okay. So yeah, you can see how much more challenging it is when you have to control it. And that's where the balance comes in, right? Okay. Turning the band around. We're going to go this way. Or I guess what I can do is I'll turn my body so you can see. So same concept, but now we're linear. So we're moving forwards and backwards instead of laterally. So we're going to start with 5 quick forwards and backwards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now slower. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, fairly simple. Probably a bit more simple, less challenging than the lateral work. Now single-legged. Right foot to start. Quicker. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, now slow it down. Hold. 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 2 more. Hold. Hold. Done. Okay, now you can really feel that in the glutes, because when you land, the glutes are really absorbing that impact. Okay, left foot, quicker. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you know what's coming. Here we go. Hold. Oops. And done. Okay, all right. Those are always a fun little challenge. You can put your object away. Okay, let's take a 30-second active recovery. So stay moving, stay walking around. Quick drink of water. Okay, let's grab your hand weight. Just going to adjust the camera a little bit. Okay, so those first exercises we did are obviously challenging in regards to the landing. Okay, so when you do a power movement, obviously it takes a lot of strength and power and energy to be explosive, to produce that movement. But a lot of what people don't really focus on is the down phase, or the eccentric, or the deloading or decelerating phase, the slowdown, because that's where you're getting a lot of stabilization. That's where you're building up a lot of the strength, but obviously you're working your dynamic balance and coordination. These are so overlooked. So people often only look at the up or the jump and not the land. And this is where you're generating a lot more performance, athletic strength is in that decelerating phase. So keep that in mind. We'll focus on that later. Okay, and we're going to move here. We've done this a few times before. So this is going to be a more dynamic balance with upper body. So we're going to do a split lunge hinge with overhead press. Okay, if you don't have enough room over your head to do that, what you'll do is you'll go down and then you'll come up and lunge behind. Okay, but let's try to do it without that movement. Okay, so we're down, we're here, and we'll press. So you can bend the knees so that you're not as tall. Okay, so I'm trying not to add that second lunge for this movement pattern. Down, press. So you'll notice we're doing 3 movements. You're doing a row, a clean, and an overhead press with the arm. And then your legs, obviously you're doing the split lunge, single-legged deadlift, balance exercise. So lots going on here. 2 more. Last one on this side. Great. Okay, let's switch it up. So much going on, you have to pay attention, right? That's where your coordination, your multitasking comes in. Okay, so we just did right hand, left foot. Now we're gonna do right foot, left hand. So down, up, press. Down, up, press. Keeping low the whole time, never standing up straight. Especially being in a basement, not a lot of room above your head. If you do have room, I would recommend trying to follow through with the press. One more. And done. Okay. You can set that down, put that nearby. Take a minute break here. Okay. And we're going to be hitting the floor here. So down to the floor we go. Grab your hand weight. You're going to need that for this exercise. And before we start that one, I would just like to take a couple moments here to breathe. So in a kneeling position, on your knees here, lean back, hands on your hips. I want you to take a deep breath in through your nose. Hold it and exhale through the mouth. Nice and slow. Let's do 2 more of those. Great, okay. It's always really important to kind of reconvene, settle down, bring the heart rate down a bit, focus on the movements we're going to do so that you're not just kind of going through the motions. Okay, quality over quantity, right? So we're going to do our plank variation with the pull through. So you guys know this one. So we're in a push-up plank, which means your hands instead of your elbows to hold the plank up. So hands should be underneath your shoulders and your feet are actually going to be a little wider in stance than normal. Okay, you're going to take the weight that's on the outside of your body, outside of the hand. You're going to pull that through to the other side, on the outside of that side, and pull through. Okay, let's continue doing this movement. Try to keep your hips from tilting left to right. Three more. Keep it nice and strong. And hold. Keep holding. And drop. Great. Okay. Next one. We're going to push that weight over here. I want you to slowly get up. So take your time. Perfect. Just going to readjust the camera. Okay, so now we have a bit of a variation from the first exercise we did after our warm-up. So we did the hop overs. Now we're going to add a bit more of an explosiveness to it, but it's still focusing on that landing. So these are the skater hops or the skater strides. So no weights are used here. You need lots of space left to right. So make sure you have plenty of room to work with. It is a lateral explosive movement. We're not jumping high, we're not jumping up, but we're moving our body left and right, okay, which works a little bit differently. So in order to do the skater strides properly, we're focusing more on the landing than we are on the actual jump itself, which is what I was saying in the beginning when we did our hop overs. Okay, so it's the same idea. That was just kind of like the first prerequisite for this movement. Okay, so what you want to do is start on one side, and you're going to almost kind of, so if we're going to plant our left foot our right foot's lifted. You're going to reach behind. So that foot's going to kind of kick out behind, and you're going to wind up and you're going to land. Okay, so I jumped a couple feet here, but again, it's not how far you're jumping, it's that landing that's important. So you're going to land. I always try to have a wall or a support beam or some kind of help in case you lose your balance. Okay, and so when you land, I want you to land nice and low and see how my foot went behind my body. That's how I started on the other side. So I went behind, and I want you to go down really low so you pretty much touch the floor with the one hand. And then you're going to jump back and do the same thing. Okay? So that deceleration landing should be about 3 seconds. So it's 1, 2, 3, switch. 1, 2, 3, switch. Okay, so we'll do 10 all together. Here we go. Finish. And done. Okay, walk around. Active recovery. Okay, and down to the floor. And like before, we want to control our breathing, our heart rate, because we want all of our high quality energy into the following consecutive exercises. Okay. And this is always important because typically when you arrange your workout program, obviously, as you go through the exercise routine, you're getting more tired, you're losing energy, you're getting shaky, muscles are fatigued, your energy systems are depleted. So what happens is the quality obviously goes down as your fatigue goes up. So we want to try to change that so that it's, you know, fairly consecutive. It's fairly consistent with both of those two things. So when you're doing high quality movements in functional training, you're not doing ballistic movements. You're not just lifting heavy weights until failure. Everything is high quality, like the movements, the patterns, the posture, the form, the balancing, coordination. It's so mindful. You have to be fully into that movement. You can't just do it kind of at the end of your workout when you're tired. So always good to take a couple moments to couple deep breaths and then move on. Don't perform the exercises when you're dead tired. Okay? Which is why we're only doing 4 or 5 exercises in 30 minutes as opposed to 10. Okay? So this next one we've done before, you're going to be in sitting down on your butt, and we're going to do our crab walk toe touch, which is the breakdancer variation, or what the prerequisite will be is the tabletop, where you're just holding this position. Okay, so this one requires a lot of core explosiveness because we're doing the rotation, balance, strength, stability of the upper body, and obviously the lower body as well. And very good for flexibility because you need to be able to reach, and there's lengthening involved. So here we go. So you're up. I'm going to walk forward a couple paces, lift up, touch the opposites, right hand left hand right foot, and back. And then again, 1, 2, 1, 2. Whoop. 1, 2. 2. 1, 2 once more. 2 and drop. Whew, okay, good. All right, we're gonna do one more core exercise before we go into our cool down. Just staying in this position, we're gonna do 2 things. We're gonna do the figure 8s with our feet. It's a figure 8 pattern. And we're gonna do the Russian twists, okay? So we're gonna do 20 Russian twists. And we're gonna do 10 figure 8s, 5 each side. Here we go. Leaning back, and you're gonna draw figure 8, your feet. Opposite way. Okay, dropping the feet up into the figure or the Russian twist pose, feet off the ground, hands here, rotate, touch the floor, keep your feet together, legs as still as possible. And done. Whew, okay, excellent. Time for cool down. All right, into our pigeon pose. Front leg is bent, back leg is bent. And I want you to lean to one side to start, and then lean to the other side. Hold this position. Now extend the back leg to make it a bit more difficult, and more behind you if you can. And then to finish it, I want you to lift the body up so you're over top of that front leg, and you'll feel a bit more stretch. And drop down. Just kind of lean to one side first. Bring that back knee bent. And then switch, okay? So both legs are bent, like so. Starting on one side. Now you're ready. Bring it to the middle. Lean forward. Hold. Extend the back leg. Now you'll feel it more. Try to bring it more directly behind you. And then finally, we're ready. Lifting up over top of the leg and hold. Dropping down. Bend the back leg. Ready and up. Okay, half kneeling lunge for our hip flexor stretch. So 90-degree angles with the knees. Start. Keeping the foot planted, lean forward. Take your opposite arm and reach over top of your body like we did in the warm-up. Pull it back to the middle, reset. Reach over and lean. Okay, back to the middle, switching sides, 90-degree angles to start. Right arm leaning forward and reach. Back to the middle, reset, and again. Back to the middle, knees down, and our cat-cow stretch, 4-point position. Ready? Arc the back, engage the core, nice and high, and then let it sink down. Not too far, just a little bit. Up. Into our child's pose stretch from here, sitting on your heels, reaching forward, holding right here.
Sliding back. And down again. And back, one deep breath. And done. Excellent. Thank you everybody for joining functional training. I hope you had a good little workout there. And I believe that was our last session for the semester. So thanks everyone. I hope you had a great time hanging out here doing these workouts for the summer. And I hope that we all see each other soon in person. Have a good rest of the semester. Good luck with your exams. Take care.